Hello, my name is Dr. Ann Paris. I'm a clinical psychologist and I work with individuals, couples, and families. The heart of my work, though, has been centered around empathy and really the power that empathy has to bring us to our best selves. And I wanted to share um, some of this with you as teachers and helping you to create empathic classrooms. And I think that um, it will be worth your time and energy to uh, put into developing empathic relationships with your students and helping them to develop their own skills for empathy. Um, we've got a book series that this all relates to that you can get and share with your kids. The first book is called Insides Out. It's the Empathy Way series. The second book is called I'm Different, You're Different. And the third book is called You Scared Me. We also have a teacher's manual that will help you um, with some additional ideas for classroom activities and understanding empathy in a deeper way as well. I'll start by saying that feeling understood is probably one of our most fundamental and overarching needs that we have throughout our lives. You can best point of reference is probably yourself and thinking about times that you were not understood or misunderstood or people assuming things about your behavior or your thoughts or reactions um, that weren't true, and you know how frustrating that can be, and often um, we spend a good deal of energy into trying to help other people hear us and to really understand where we're coming from. And this need is present from birth till death. I mean, that we never outgrow this need to feel understood. So I think that uh, helping children develop their skills for empathy and trying to understand what other people feel is going to help them not only in the classroom but throughout their lives and developing good relationships and again bringing them to their best selves. In this video, I'd like to talk a little bit more about that and how empathy really can help us to be more creative, to be sharper cognitively, and to be more emotionally stable, and which helps us be ready to learn and ready to explore. Um, First, I'll start with just a definition. What is empathy? Um, we can think of empathy as a way of being connected, but it's uh, the experience of trying to put yourself in someone else's shoes and seeing things from their perspective, given their history, given their world that they live in, and trying to see the sense in how they're thinking, behaving, or feeling. Um, and so we temporarily suspend our own perceptions, um, not abandon them entirely, but suspend them long enough that we can really try to appreciate where the other person is coming from. So in this way, empathy does not mean agreeing with the other person, but merely not judging them or not making assumptions about what they should feel or what we think they feel, but really taking the time to try to understand and then again find the sense in what they're saying or thinking or doing. Um, uh, So empathy, having empathy for another person, first involves this first step of really trying to understand and appreciate them. The second step then is that we need to find a way to convey what we think we understand, and uh, respond to them in some way. So, often a good phrase that you might use is that um, what I understand you saying is, or that helps me to understand and appreciate that you are feeling disappointed, or I can understand how you would feel disappointed. Um, so our response, the way that we respond to the person gives them an opportunity then to say, yeah, you really get it, or no, that's not quite right. This is, and they can then correct you in your understanding. So that kind of back and forth allows for true understanding to happen, and for the other person to feel understood. We may think that we are understanding them, but until they feel understood, um, then an empathic connection won't really have happened. Um, so, how does this experience then bring us to our best? Um, and in order to understand this, um, we need to look at the emotional brain. This is an exciting new area in psychology, neuropsychology, because now we've got PET scans that can actually see the brain in action as we feel different things and do different things and think different things, and we can really see what's going on inside the brain, which helps us then to um, appreciate and understand how our behaviors can affect each other. Um, Many researchers have been working to uh, understand the role of connection and empathy in our brain functioning. Uh, One researcher, Jacques Panksepp, has um, done a lot of work in animal research and molecular biology, evolutionary psychology, experimental and behavioral psychology, and he's come to some pretty fascinating conclusions. Um, one of them is that we've been taught for many decades that our thoughts, our thinking, should uh, override our behaviors, so that we can think ourselves through certain situations and correct for any negative thinking or misperceptions that we have. Um, but some of this research is showing that in fact emotion is the thing that holds every system in our psychology together, and that emotion will override our thinking most every time. Um, so that if we're upset, if we're really sad or really angry, our thinking is not going to be at its clearest. Um, the emotion is going to be up front and center for us. So, our children and ourselves, we can't learn at our best if we're upset. And empathy is a way that we can help children to deal with their emotions, so that then the emotion subsides and thinking then can return to a more clear level. Um, and similarly, uh, we see on these PET scans that when a person feels connected, when they feel understood and connected with another person, that actually the different parts in the brain light up, and which signals that those areas are kind of primed and ready to go. These areas include cognition and thinking, they include creativity, they include the motivation to take action. So when we're feeling connected and understood, we're really at our best to learn and engage and think creatively. Um, uh, Also, along similar lines, when we're connected, um, Jacques Panksepp said that everything that we can measure about the body is better. Um, our heart rate is better, our blood pressure is better. We've got less anxiety, we're less depressed. Again, our thinking is sharper, more clear. We're more motivated to take action and to be engaged. Um, so with all this research, we can now see what I think most of us know to be true from our day-to-day lives, that that when we're emotionally settled and feel like we're in a kind and caring environment, and that people do get us, that we feel understood and appreciated for who we are with our strengths and our weaknesses, but that others really are trying to understand us and connect. We really are at our best, and this goes for our children too, and it's part of the um, uh, reason that I really wanted to focus on empathy and help you as teachers to extend some of this into your classrooms. Um, in the subsequent videos, I'll be talking more about specific ways to create empathic connections in an empathic environment, and along with some stories that might help illustrate. Thanks a lot for listening.